Harrison with you, and as you know, the state of California is about the seventh largest economy in the world, one of the most important states, in fact, one of the most important places on the planet, and there's a move right now for it to secede from the United States of America and become its own country, if you will, certainly its own standalone state, as a way to make sure its infrastructure, its water, its food, its shelter, its medicine continues and in fact expands and grows. I want to introduce to you a couple of gentlemen who are really spearheading this project. One is the chapter head in Los Angeles. His name is Daniel Costa. The other is named Shankar Singam, and I believe he is more the statewide representative. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but welcome and thank you for doing what you're doing.
Hi, Cary.
So let's just jump right into this. There's people going, what? What? California secede now. We all know that when Texas threatens to do this, we say yes. But that's different. This is California. We actually have a good idea here.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting thing, Texas just passed yesterday another secession act in their House, and they're going to try it again. So I think this time they're following our lead and going about it a little bit differently. And there's been a few secession movements. People always want to compare every time someone wants to secede from a country, especially the United States, they compare us to the Civil War or Texas, of course. But fundamentally and morally, absolute opposites. A California movement has really no basis, if anything, with the Civil War or even the Texas movement in itself. So.
Now, some people are going to be tweeting this as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Are you kidding? Can you do it? Does the Constitution even say it's okay? Which it really sort of doesn't. This would be a first-time experiment, wouldn't it?
Almost. I mean, the Constitution doesn't say it's not okay. I mean, the forefathers did it. That's how this country was founded. So there's no way our founding fathers would have put anything in the original Constitution about not seceding. They always wanted a way out, so they didn't include it in there. And a secession movement was added on there much later into the Constitution as amendments. But come on, this is California. Marijuana is illegal federally, but look at us here. All right, it's about to be a
look at my street. There's
stream.
3 marijuana clinics at the bottom of my street. Let's jump to you, Daniel. You're representing Los Angeles, LA County, really the biggest, most well-known place pretty much on earth, Hollywood. You're smack dab in the belly button of it. You've got a California flag flapping behind you. What about Hollywood? This would mean Hollywood would be part of its own nation.
Hollywood would. And actually, I was part of a movement to actually that Hollywood secede from Los Angeles because, again, we were underrepresented. We still are. Within that, and the movement got killed with a lot of money, and of course, nobody in government wants Hollywood to see we're a huge, tourist industry, and we make millions. But what I wanted to add about the precedents of secession, there was in 1869 a case called Texas versus White, and this is the only thing that we have that in the Constitution that says that it's not impossible to secede. Basically, it said that as long as there's a majority of states that agree with the secession of a state that's asking for it, it can be done. It's difficult, it's hard, it's never been done, but that's the only precedent that we have that says that it is possible, that it's not unconstitutional. So already we have that. And a lot of authorities have come out and said that, a lot of politicians said that's what we see as one of the possibilities in doing so.
So let me just reintroduce everybody here just for a second. Some people are listening audio only. We're talking to Daniel Costa. He is the California Freedom Coalition along with Shankar Singam. They represent different chapters, but the state of California has some 38, 39, 40 million people, larger than Canada at this point. It represents Silicon Valley, pretty much every mineral, natural resource, intellectual bit of brain power, institutions and scholars from Stanford University to UCLA to Shankar there, who is also an educator. So this is a group of very smart people looking to split the state off and create something new. What would be the point of that?
to save ourselves, to save this state. Underneath with the United States overbearing us, they're actually impeding our growth, stifling our growth in various technologies, from renewable energies to our bio to oh my God, to agriculture. The list goes on and on and on. And it's all because of these federal regulations. And not only that, the money that we're giving up year after year on our taxes, we're losing $40–50 billion every single year. Every single year we're losing that money. That money should stay in the state, or at least given back to us. And like all the other states get their money back from their income tax, but we lose money. And if we were allowed just to keep that money, maybe we wouldn't be wanting to secede. But to keep that money and then stifle our growth, not only by monetarily but also legally and morally as well, is as far as individual rights.
It looks like our Skype signal is breaking up just a little bit, and I apologize. It's a little skittery. It happens at times. Let's just talk quickly, either of you, about and introduce yourself just for our radio audience. What would be the next steps for people that are interested in seeing this happen?
You want to take the initiative, Shankar?
Yeah, okay. So we have an initiative that we filed on May 19th up in Sacramento. This is Cal Exit 2.0, if you will. This is the next step. The first one was pulled. This is the number 2. And believe me, we're not stopping after this. It's going to be initiative after initiative. Now, on this initiative, there should be no reason for anybody not to vote, not to sign it, and then not to vote yes for it. What it states is we're asking the people of California to have our governor go to Washington and demand of Congress that they make voter reformation. The voter reformation, not needed here in California. We don't have issues with our voting rights, but the rest of the United States does. Yeah. And we're asking to ask Congress to, one, abolish voter suppression, because that's rampant in the U.S. 2, end gerrymandering. That is also rampant in the U.S. right now. 3, the Electoral College needs to match its constituency. So they can't just vote who they feel they want to go for. They need to at least match who their constituency is also voting for. And 4th, the last one that we're asking the government to ask Congress is campaign finance reform. Enforce it. Enforce it. So we're only asking what has already been set as law 30, 40, 50 years ago, that I'm not going to say just Republicans, and Democrats in the United States have brought back and have used it so much so that reps get elected into Congress, and when they're in Congress, they look at California and kick us off to the side. They take our money and they flick us away like a cigar butt, and we suffer for it at the end. So we're asking that our governor to ask them that, and are they going to go for it? I don't think so.
Well, it's interesting. Shankar, Singam, and Daniel Costa, everything you're talking about is exactly what people really care about. Every single state in the union, every single person, it doesn't matter if they're blue or red or whatever these fucked up things in between that we tend to label and color ourselves with, these are the very issues that concern us, the gerrymandering. We saw back in when Proposition 8 passed, or was denied by the Supreme Court, one day before the same Supreme Court rolled back the Voting Rights Act of 1965, thereby exposing some 10 million people of color. That's in Texas. That's all over the country. And we, in our primary just 1 year ago, when Hillary Clinton versus Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump, some 2.2 million votes went poof, missing.
Yeah.
This is real. This is a state bigger than Canada. Our state.
You're absolutely right. Us as Californians, in all honesty, for the most electoral votes and for the largest population and for the largest GDP and contributor to the federal government as far as funding, we have zero say in national elections. It's already been decided by the time it comes to California. in all honesty, the next election cycle, national election, we should all just sit at home and just see what electoral college does.
We have made
no
difference in the last 4, 5, 6 elections. Never, and because of this electoral college, we're not represented at all. So we have basically the only power we have is within our state, and we've done very well doing that. We've done very well. We don't have gerrymandering. We have popular vote. Everything we've been able to accomplish that's great about California has been done within California. But every time we try to influence the United States to go our way, we have no voice. We have had no voice, whether Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter. It's a bigger issue because Washington has been hijacked. But basically, what Shankar was saying is, I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe we need to go directly to secession because as far as we're under this type of government, and we'll never be able to do what is in our best interest. And we have, and I want to make this clear, we have everything to gain practically, and the United States has everything to lose from us seceding. We are a nation already. We can function. We are already separate. Jerry Brown went for trade with China. We're already doing things as a nation, basically. So when people say, well, what's going to happen? We're already independent, except that we're within this system, like Shankar said, that takes $60 billion of our money, and we get nothing back from it. So,
and you know what else is interesting?
Money, how much could we do in California? And this is a big issue.
All three of us are in California right now, and I think remarkably, and by pure coincidence, but it's a statement of truth. Look at the three of us. I'm the gringo. It's like this is what California looks like. And it makes sense. It doesn't look like what Donald Trump imagines everything to look like, or Steve Bannon. We're the mammals here, so we all have real skin in the game, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our greatest strength right there is the diversity. I mean, at the march, if you look around and look at everybody that was there, and if you notice, 2/3 of the state are people that came here from somewhere else because their value system didn't match the value system from where they were from, whether that be another state or another country. And they didn't come to the United States. They came to California. In fact, some of those people that came to California, they're from another state because those states didn't match their values. And they are coming here to California. This is a country of its own. And Cary, I want you to imagine one thing real quick. Could you imagine what would happen to the property value if California was independent from the United States? Do you think it would go up or down? It's going to be like the Bahamas. And also imagine our agricultural industry. Right now, you have New York and Chicago setting up prices on our produce. Now imagine if we control those market prices on our commodities. We can actually pay a living wage, okay, and set the price on those goods. So actually, people that work on the farm are actually making a decent wage and can support themselves and not be in the situation that they're in right now. I mean, it's a positive on all ends, secession, being independent. And I dare anybody just go out there and research it and look at the numbers yourself.
Let me jump in with Daniel here for a second because we are talking, we do have huge agriculture here. I mean, virtually every avocado you're ever going to eat comes from here. We have immigrants, undocumented, documented, whatever, by the hundreds of thousands, if not millions perhaps. How would that affect them, Daniel? Let's just say there's a lot of people here that Donald Trump doesn't care for, that this White House doesn't care for, but that we care for. How would this affect them?
It would affect them in only a positive way, because we've already said that when Trump says, we want to do this policy of immigration, we've said no. We won't stand for it as Californians. We always say no, practically, to that. So when he says, you need to deport him as a federal law or whatever, we say no. We won't do that in California. So if now we're in power of ourselves, we're away from these bigot that want to hurt immigrants, want to hurt anybody that's different from them. we can start setting up our own laws to protect these immigrants, to legalize them, to do something, but to protect them because they're part of our country, whether we like it or not. They are, and they should be legal. I mean, they work. If you see these workers, they work 18-hour days and get paid, and are not even protected. They don't get overpaid. They don't get anything. And they're part of the reason that California is so rich. You know, agriculture is enormous. If we stop agriculture to the rest of the U.S., they would be eating potatoes every day. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Is we can do enormously, not just for immigration, but for everything that the federal government has impeded us to do. So there's nothing that is negative about it. And we have very, there's a lot of people with counterpoints on what happened. We have documents, everything on the counterpoints of this or that. Once you start seeing it, and I want to say this because I was the same way as most people that are listening to this. I said, secede from the United States, that's impossible. Legally, it's ridiculous. I'm an American. I'm still, I love America, whatever. But then when you start seeing the facts, then you start changing your point of view. And so we're saying we just want to educate people. This is the seed. We're starting right now. It's a long process. We don't expect it to move fast, or maybe it will. It depends on the events. But this is the seed, and we're just telling people, educate yourself before you say, no, it's not possible, it's unpatriotic, it's this, it's that. Study the fact, and all of a sudden you start changing. It happened to me, but because I'm seeing the landscape of the U.S. change over 40 years. This is about just Trump. This has been happening for the last 30, 40 years since Reagan came in office. So people say, oh, it's because Trump, you don't like Trump. I said, no, Trump is just, the result of this from 40 years ago. And now people are seeing it because it's so obvious. But this happened a long time ago. So we want to educate people, and we want them to be open-minded, and Californians are. So I think we've gotten a lot of positive feedback going to marches and things like that. And that's the great thing about Californians. They don't reject, even if it's something that's radical as an idea like this.
Great, Shankar. Let's end with how everyone can follow this, pay attention to what you're doing, and be supportive if they feel like it.
Sure. So we at the California Freedom Coalition, I'm the vice president, by the way. You can check us out. We have several domain names, CaliforniaFreedomCoalition.com. WeAreANation.org. Listen, we're not going away. After this initiative, we're putting the next initiative out as a California citizenship. And that is to touch back on that immigration question that you just asked, Daniel, right there. Now, when that kicks in, believe me, I cannot see how anybody would not vote for that one, especially for California. That's the next one coming out, and we have a slew of them ready to come out, defining California. And these are initiatives that the United States will not like, but it's going to benefit us greatly. So believe in the state, everybody. That's really all I have to say. Check out the website and research it yourself.
Thank you so much,
and
gentlemen.
I just want to end this quickly by saying that the petition will be available 3 to 4 weeks from now. So look for us. Look for people petitioning this. And we need signatures to get it. What do we need? About 600,000 signatures?
It's going to be at least 500,000, I'm thinking. But you know what? Maybe the Attorney General will be sick of this administration and lower it to 300. It was
just look for that petition. This is really important, and we're going to be pushing it. And we're here for the long run. We're not going to go away. California is not going to go away, and Californians are waking up. When you see all the marches, everything, this is a movement that's just starting, but it's going to keep on going until we get the results that we want.
Great. We've been talking to Daniel Costa, California Freedom Coalition, along with Shankar Singam, who's vice president of this organization. As you can see, they've put through the proper legal documents, the instruments, to create a secession for the state of California.